Hey guys, it's Chris at Highline Guitars. You're watching another one of my YouTube guitar building videos. If you're new to the channel, welcome. I hope that by the end of this video, I'll have earned the honor and privilege of your subscription. In today's video, I wanted to talk about wood, but don't worry, I'm not going to get into the whole tone wood thing. Rather, I'd like to ask you, the viewer, a question. Have you ever used non-traditional woods to make a guitar? And if so, what kind of woods did you use? And did you have success with those different species of wood? Let me know in the comments section down below. I think this might be really interesting because over the years I have received a lot of questions from viewers asking about specific wood and whether or not they felt, I felt it could be used in making a guitar. And I've had questions like, I've got this old slab of cherry. Can I use that to make a guitar? Or I've got this old oak bench. Can I use that to make a guitar? And the answer I always give is pretty much the same. Give it a try. What have you got to lose? But I really would like to know if you've used different species, woods that are not considered traditional, and whether or not you had success with it. Now, when I say traditional woods, for bodies, I'm talking about alder, mahogany, swamp ash, basswood, and poplar. Those are the most common body woods that are used. Now, there's a couple of other species that are starting to appear, mostly in guitars that are made overseas. So, we got to take that into consideration as well. For the neck, the most common woods are mahogany and maple, although you sometimes will see rosewood, padauk, wenge, and a variety of other species. And then for fretboards, it's kind of the same thing. It's maple, rosewood, ebony, but then again, you'll also see padauk and wenge and other species that are similar. Obviously, the wood that you select for your neck and your fretboard is going to have different requirements than what you have for the body, because first of all, the neck has to resist string tension so that it doesn't warp, bend, or twist. Therefore, we need a wood that has a great deal of strength. Then the fretboard needs to have a high degree of hardness so that it will hold the frets in the slot. And we also want a hard surface that will resist the effect of wear as you play the guitar over time. So your neck and your fretboard will have different requirements for the body. The body, typically, I look for wood that's light in weight and hopefully has a fairly dent-resistant surface. But that can be really difficult because the harder the wood, the heavier the wood. And that's almost a guarantee in every situation. It's rare that you'll find a really hard wood that's light in weight. It just doesn't happen because the hardness comes from density, and density makes weight. So what I also like to do, though, is I will visit the Wood Database website, and I'll put a link in the description below. Hey guys, if you're really enjoying this video, it would be awesome if you would click that thumbs up button down below. And if you're new to the channel, click the subscribe button while you're at it. Both are free to do. They don't cost you anything, and it's a great way to show my channel support. But if you really want to get the most out of this channel, I would suggest you click the join button down below, because as a member, you're going to have access to exclusive content that contains a lot more information and detail than the rest of my videos on this channel. Also, you're going to have access to my Q&A live streams. Now let's get back to the video. On the Wood Database, you'll find just about every species of wood known to man. And what's really cool about it is, with each species, they have detailed specifications for the wood, and these are often the result of tests that are conducted on each species. So what you can do basically is compare the species of wood you're thinking of using with other species which are traditionally used in woodworking. For example, if you're thinking of some kind of exotic wood that you've never used before for a guitar neck, you could compare the numbers for that wood with, say, maple and Honduran mahogany. And if the numbers are within pretty close to what the numbers are for those two traditional species, then you're probably good to go. Same thing with a fretboard. You may have found some exotic, crazy wood that you'd like to try for a fretboard and are wondering, is it going to be hard enough to hold the frets into the slot? Well, you can check the numbers for that species of wood and compare it to maple, rosewood, ebony, and see if the numbers are close to what those species are. And if it is, then you could probably try it. Now, of course, you may find yourself in a situation where maybe you live in a part of the world where you have access to wood that is virtually unknown, and it may not even be on the wood database. In that case, you're pretty much on your own. But what you can do is maybe give it some tests. And I think when it comes to selecting wood for a guitar, the most important and most critical factor is whether or not the wood can hold a fret into the slot. So you might want to take a section of wood, cut a slot, and then press a fret into it, and just get an idea of whether or not you think it's going to work as far as holding the fret in. And is the surface of the wood going to be hard enough to resist the wear that typically happens over time as you're playing a guitar? So yeah, that's basically some thoughts about wood. And like I said, I'd love it if you guys would share with me in the comments section down below some of the different unusual, non-traditional woods that you've used to build guitars. And more importantly, whether or not you had success using those woods, and would you use them again on a future build. What I'd also like to know is how your choice of a unique, exotic, non-traditional wood may have affected the tone and sustain of the guitar that you made. Now, I know that means we're kind of venturing into the whole tone wood debate, but I don't really care, because what I do care about is what your impression is of the tone and sustain of the guitar that you made using those non-traditional woods. I think that that's something that is worth consideration. So it's not just how durable, strong, and resistant the wood is to, you know, rough everyday playing or string tension or the effects of moisture and that sort of thing. Ultimately, what it comes down to is, did you like the way the guitar sounded? So share that with your comments, and I think that might be interesting. As always, if you've enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. Visit my eGuitar Plans web store or my Highline Guitars merch store, and you can purchase plans for guitars, the tools that we use to build guitars, t-shirts, hoodies, coffee mugs. I've even just added a baseball cap with the Highline logo on it. And anything you purchase is going to help support this channel so that I can keep making videos about building guitars and then sharing my knowledge and experience with you. So as always, until the next episode, take care, stay safe, and I hope you'll be back to watch a future guitar building video.